Measure from the soil line to the bottom of your window. Then measure from the wall to the front edge of the bed. Those two numbers can rule out most bad choices before you even reach the garden center. A plant may stay below the glass and still spread into the walkway. Another may fit the bed today, but need constant shearing once it reaches its natural size. This video gives you 7 exact choices for different conditions, from evergreen structure and cool shade to hot, dry sun. Each one stays low for a different reason, and each one has a limit you need to know before buying. Start with 2 measurements. Measure from the finished soil or mulch level to the bottom of the window. Then measure from the wall to the front edge of the bed. Use the larger number in every mature size range. A shrub listed at 2 to 3 feet should be treated as a 3-foot shrub in a tight space. Leave a little clearance below the sill so you can clean the window and let the plant keep its natural shape. Width matters just as much. Picture half the mature spread reaching toward the house and half reaching toward the lawn or walkway. If either side does not fit, the plant is too wide even when its height looks perfect. Also check faucets, meters, vents, basement windows, electrical equipment, and anything else that needs access. Look from inside too. A low plant can still crowd an outward opening window or block an egress opening. Use the exact cultivar name. Words like dwarf and compact are comparisons, not dimensions. For the layout, keep plants directly below the glass low and place taller anchors in solid wall spaces between windows or at the corners. Choose one main low plant that fits the site and repeat it. The 7 plants in this video are alternatives for different conditions, not a collection to place beneath one window. The first choice is for a bed that needs green structure through winter. Gembox Inkberry Holly is a compact cultivar of the native inkberry, Ilex glabra. It forms a dense, rounded broadleaf evergreen rather than the tall cone many people picture when they hear the word holly. Its published size is about 2 to 3 feet tall and about 2 to 3 feet wide. It is generally listed for zones 5 through 9 and grows in part sun through full sun. That 3-foot maximum matters. Gembox fits comfortably below a window that starts well above 3 feet. It is a poor gamble beneath a sill only 30 inches from the soil, even when the plant at the nursery is barely knee-high. The site matters just as much as the measurement. Inkberry prefers acidic soil and dependable moisture. It fits many eastern gardens more naturally than a dry, alkaline foundation bed in the interior west. In a hot exposure where the soil dries hard, an evergreen adapted to drier conditions would be the safer choice. Very deep shade can loosen the shape. Full sun usually produces denser growth, provided the roots are not left dry during establishment. Gembox is a female cultivar and may form dark fruit when a compatible male inkberry grows nearby. The fruit is useful to wildlife, but this is an ornamental planting decision, not an edible landscape recommendation. Use Gembox as repeated evergreen structure rather than a continuous hedge. Give every plant room for its full 3-foot outline, including clearance behind it. Choose it when the soil is acidic, moisture is dependable, and the sill sits comfortably above the mature height. In a dry alkaline bed or beneath a 30-inch window, choose something else. The next shrub stays lower, but it exposes a different mistake. Slender Deutzia usually grows only 1 to 2 feet tall. On height alone, it sounds almost perfect for a window bed. Its spread can reach 2 to 5 feet. That means a shrub staying below the sill may still fill a narrow foundation strip from the wall to the walkway. If the bed is only 3 feet deep, a 5-foot spread is the number that decides the answer. Where there is enough width, Nico gives you a low, arching shrub covered with small white flowers in spring. It is generally suited to zones 5 through 8 and takes full sun to part shade. More sun usually brings heavier flowering, while some afternoon shade can help the foliage in a hot location. Average soil is fine when it drains and does not remain waterlogged. The stems spread outward, so place it where that arching form can soften the bed instead of hanging into a path. Nico works where its arching stems have room to spread away from the house. That same habit makes it a poor choice beside a narrow walkway. The maintenance is real. Its stems can be short-lived. Dead branches may need annual removal, and any shaping belongs immediately after flowering because it blooms on old wood. It is also deciduous. Use it where spring flowers and low summer foliage matter more than winter screening. Choose Nico for a wide bed and a low window line. In a skinny strip, its 1 to 2 foot height does not make up for a spread that may reach 5 feet. A shaded window needs a completely different kind of plant. Japanese painted fern, Atherium nipponicum var pictum, works where direct sun is limited and the soil stays consistently moist but drains. Its silver-green fronds, marked with burgundy near the center, remain visible in shade where plain dark foliage can disappear against mulch or brick. It generally reaches about 1 to 1.5 feet tall and 1.5 to 2 feet wide. It is commonly listed for zones 3 through 8 and prefers part shade to full shade. Named cultivars vary, so check the dimensions of the exact one on the tag. A north-facing wall can be a good fit. So can the cooler side of an east-facing entry. The hard spot is shade beneath a wide roof overhang. It may look protected, but the soil can stay surprisingly dry because little rain reaches the roots. Check the soil after a normal rain. If the bed is still dusty several inches down, the fern will need irrigation during dry periods. On the other hand, do not place it where a downspout keeps the crown sitting in water. A useful way to plant it is in a loose group rather than a ruler straight row. The fronds naturally face different directions, and that irregularity suits shade better than forcing the bed into a clipped head shape. Mulch lightly and keep the fern crowns visible. A deep pile of mulch against the crown does not replace moisture in the soil and can make it harder to see where the plant is emerging in spring. Japanese painted fern expands gradually through short rhizomes. A healthy clump may become a small colony, which can help a row of windows feel connected without using one solid hedge. The main trade-off appears in winter. This fern is deciduous. The fronds die back and the plant disappears above ground. That can work beautifully when low evergreens, stone, or a clean mulch surface provide the winter background. It is less satisfying when the fern is expected to hide an unattractive utility line all year. Use it for cool, moist shade and accept its seasonal rhythm. In a hot western exposure, it becomes the wrong plant no matter how safely it fits below the window. Before replacing an existing shrub, ask whether its natural mature shape can fit the space. Keep it when it only needs normal cleanup. Plan a move or replacement when yearly cutting removes a large part of the plant and it still crowds the window, wall, walkway, or utility access. Do not force an elective transplant during extreme summer heat. Identify the plant and use a safer, local moving window. Before buying the replacement, write down the available height and bed depth so another vague, dwarf shrub does not create the same problem. For warm climate shade, Nana dwarf Mondo grass can stay far below almost any window. Despite the name, Mondo is not a true grass. It is a grass-like perennial with narrow evergreen leaves that form small, arching clumps. Nana usually grows only 3 to 6 inches tall and spreads about 8 to 12 inches. It is commonly listed for zones 7 through 10 and performs best in partial to deep shade. That makes it useful beneath low windows, along the front of a shaded foundation bed, or around taller accents placed between windows. It creates a calm green layer without building a wall of foliage. Dwarf Mondo prefers moist, well-drained soil while it establishes. It can handle some dryness later, but a sunnier position will usually need more water. In colder climates, do not force this warm zone plant into the job. A locally reliable low sedge or another hardy grass-like plant will make more sense. This plant is especially useful when a low window sits close to a landing or porch, where even a 1-foot perennial would feel crowded. The narrow leaves soften the hard edge without hiding brick, stone, or trim. Because the clumps are so small, the planting pattern matters. A single line can resemble a border. A wider, staggered group reads more like a low ground layer. Use the pattern that matches the depth you actually have. Patience is the real caution. Nana grows slowly. A handful of small pots placed far apart may look like scattered tufts for several seasons. Decide whether you want to buy enough plants for a fuller start or wait for the clumps to expand. Either approach can work. What does not work is expecting a quick carpet from a famously slow plant. The plant spreads gradually through underground stems, so watch the edge as it matures. Keep it out of the route used to clean windows or reach a faucet. Repeated foot traffic can damage the clumps. Choose Dwarf Mondo for a warm, shaded site where extremely low evergreen texture matters more than fast coverage or showy flowers. The fifth plant belongs at the other end of the moisture scale. John Prophet Hardy Ice Plant is a mat-forming succulent for full sun and very fast drainage. It stays around 3 inches tall and can spread up to about 20 inches. It is commonly listed for zones 4 through 8, but that zone range needs context. Cold alone is not always the deciding problem. Winter wetness can kill the crown even when the lowest temperature falls inside the published range. This plant is much happier on a raised edge, a gravelly slope, or lean, sandy soil than in a flat pocket of heavy clay. A downspout nearby should remove it from consideration. The flowers are bright magenta, and the succulent foliage stays close to the ground. It is one of the few choices here that can handle reflected heat from masonry better than a moist shade plant ever could. Full sun is important. Weak light reduces the dense growth and flowering that make the plant useful. Drought tolerance also starts after establishment. Water a new plant deeply enough to develop roots, then let the soil drain. Frequent shallow sprinkling keeps the surface damp without building the root system you want. Use the plant near pale stone, concrete, or gravel where the foliage and flowers will show clearly. Against dark mulch, a thin new mat can disappear until it fills in. The winter appearance also varies. In a mild, dry site, some foliage may remain useful. In colder conditions, expect the mat to look thinner or die back. The plant's main promise is low, warm season coverage, not a perfect evergreen carpet in every zone. The stems travel along the soil and may root as they spread. Give the mat room without letting it cross onto pavement, where it can collect grit and look ragged. John Prophet earns its place in hot, dry sun. In humid soil that remains wet through winter, leave it at the garden center. The place where a plant should be skipped matters just as much as the place where it works. The next sunny choice sits higher than ice plant, but still stays below most window lines. Arizona apricot blanket flower is a compact flowering perennial that generally grows 9 to 12 inches tall and about 9 to 12 inches wide. It is commonly listed for zones 4 through 10. Its warm apricot and yellow flowers bring color to the front edge of a sunny bed without creating the large mound of a full-size shrub. The compact footprint also makes it easier to repeat beneath several windows without filling every inch of the bed. Give it full sun and soil that drains quickly. Once established, it handles heat, dry periods, and lean soil better than many thirsty flowering plants. Wet ground is the weak point. Heavy clay and long rainy periods can lead to crown or root problems. Do not dig one pocket of rich, loose soil inside dense clay and assume the drainage problem is solved. Water still has to move through the soil around the planting hole. Blanket flower works best as part of a repeated sunny edge, rather than as one isolated spot of color. 3 or 5 compact clumps can lead the eye across the bed, while taller plants occupy the wall spaces between windows. Leave enough space for air to move around each crown. Packing the plants tightly for an instant display works against the drainage and airflow they need. Deadheading can extend the tidy flowering display, but it is optional. Leaving spent blooms will not make the plant block a window. It only changes how polished the front edge looks. In some conditions, blanket flower can become loose or leggy later in the season. A cutback may improve the shape, so this is not a zero-touch plant. The useful distinction is scale. Occasional grooming is different from cutting an oversized shrub back again and again. Use Arizona apricot where full sun, good drainage, and a compact flowering clump are the priorities. Skip it in a bed that stays wet after storms. The last choice is the plant many homeowners want beneath a window, and it is also the one most likely to be purchased under a name that is far too broad. A panicle hydrangea can grow into a large shrub. Firelight Tidbit is an exact compact cultivar, Hydrangea paniculata SMNHPK, bred for a much smaller footprint. Its published size is about 2 to 3 feet tall and roughly 3 feet wide. It is listed for zones 3 through 9 and grows in part sun through full sun. The flowers begin white, then develop pink and red tones as they age. Because the shrub blooms on new wood, winter damage to last year's flower buds is not the same concern it is with some old wood hydrangeas. The cultivar name is the entire reason this recommendation works. A different panicle hydrangea with a similar flower photo may grow 6, 8, or even more feet tall. Do not accept small hydrangea as a substitute for the exact dimensions. Firelight Tidbit still needs a real 3-foot footprint. A sill 2 feet above the soil is too low. A narrow strip with only 18 inches between the wall and the walkway is too tight. Good drainage and steady moisture give it the best chance to perform. Part sun may be easier to manage in very hot locations, while more sun increases the need to watch soil moisture during establishment. This shrub can carry more visual weight than the smaller perennials, so it does not need to be repeated beneath every window. One compact hydrangea at the end of a bed or beneath a single high window may be enough. Pairing it with a low edge leaves the flowers visible without creating a row of matching mounds across the whole facade. This is also the clearest maintenance trade-off in the list. The breeder recommends cutting the main branches back by about 1/3 in late winter or early spring. That is one scheduled pruning period. It is not constant summer shearing, but it means Firelight Tidbit does not belong in a no pruning category. A homeowner who wants to avoid pruning altogether should choose a perennial or a naturally tiny evergreen instead. Hydrangea is not an edible plant, and North Carolina State Extension flags Hydrangea paniculata as a problem for cats, dogs, and horses. If your pet regularly chews plants, choose another shrub or use a location the animal cannot access. Firelight Tidbit qualifies because the exact cultivar has a compact published size. The general category hydrangea does not. Before a plant reaches the cart, use 5 rejection rules. Skip a shrub that fits only through repeated shearing. Reject any plant whose mature spread is wider than the usable bed. Be cautious with runners, rooting stems, thorns, or rigid foliage beside a narrow walkway. Keep meters, vents, faucets, basement windows, and equipment access clear. And do not crowd young plants simply to make the bed look finished on planting day. The open mulch between them is the space their mature width will eventually occupy. Before you shop, make one note on your phone. Write down the maximum height below the window, the usable depth of the bed, and the light the area receives. Add one word for the soil after rain: dry, moist, or wet. At the store, compare that note with the exact cultivar tag. Use the larger number in every size range. Walk away when the plant does not fit, even when the flowers are perfect. That small decision is the difference between a plant that sits comfortably below the window and one you spend the next 10 years trying to hold down. In the comments, share your soil-to-window measurement and whether the bed gets morning sun, hot afternoon sun, or shade. Those two details will narrow the right category before color enters the decision.